Hey, Stone Cousin, you already know what time it is. Animated horror stories. Animated horror stories. Y'all see where we at? Y'all see the disclaimer in the back? Y'all know we have a few cousins that be having, eh, this is the only cousin that have a disclaimer. Our other cousins, you you ain't supposed to be watching any of their videos. Let's do it. Oh. The intro. I love you. Y'all already know that one cousin didn't have the disclaimer. What what to say? The following stories are loosely based on. Why am I trying to read it and I can't even see it? Loosely based on true events. All characters and events taking place in this video are fictional. In reality, no one was hurt mentally or physically. Underneath this little block here, it says this the video on this channel is intended for mature audiences only. I believe they say something about if you ain't grown, don't watch this shit. I could be mistaken. Y'all gonna have to go look on that channel to see. But I think it says if you ain't grown, click out of this shit right now. That's what I think it says. If you ain't grown, don't watch this. Click out of this shit right now. And that's just off the top of the dome. That's just off the head. So don't quote me on it. What? 3 Chick-fil-A horror stories. I don't think we've done Chick-fil-A. Like what? What y'all doing at Chick-fil-A? The police that's supposed to be holy? Y'all cutting up at Chick-fil-A? They say you won't believe them. So let's get up into it. Let's see if we're gonna believe or not believe. Okay? Y'all already know what to do. Please grab a blunt, grab a bottle of water, just in case that blunt start punching you in the throat. I got a bottle of water close by. If you need one, please, I got a spare for you. You ain't drinking off mine, the germs. Great. Please grab a bag of chips so you can munch after you get the munchies from that blunt. And please grab a blanket to snuggle. And for my smoking cousins, get uh I start with a blunt, don't I? For my non-smoking cousins, still get your bottle of water, get blanket and bag of chips, and on the side you could just get you get some sweet. How about that? You get some cookies. We get cookies too because we high, we smoking, but you all get cookies. What is y'all doing at the Chick-fil-A? At the filet? The filet of chick?
I'll never dare to pull over to a restaurant on the highway again. No matter how hungry I get, I'll endure.
Why was it
There's
at
no
the
way I want that to happen again, so there's no way I'll risk my life again.
you stopping at a Chick-fil-A even if it's on the side of the highway? I mean, we have to see what does she mean by side of the highway? Cause a
As
lot
I
of
looked at the
things are supposed
sky,
to be on the
it
side of the
began to turn
highway.
yellow. The sun was starting to set.
It's almost 6 p.m.
My stomach growled as the hunger pangs came. I'd only eaten breakfast, and now, with no food in my stomach,
Girl, you ain't that
I
damn
was
hungry.
starving. I was spending all of my time at work trying to save enough money to afford a return trip to my hometown to visit my family. Gosh,
But you
I
about to
had
stop and
no
get some fast
energy
food?
left. The hunger was so severe that it took over my brain. Desperate to find a meal, I looked for a nearby restaurant on Google Maps, but I couldn't find a single one. Suddenly, I spotted a Chick-fil-A on the side of the road. I entered the drive-thru, pulled up to the menu display.
You can't see it now, but my good sis has a cross necklace on. Going to Chick-fil-A I know she's like, nothing could possibly happen to me at Chick-fil-A. I'm going. I got a cross on. It's holy. I'm holy. It just makes sense. My guess is about to get something about to happen to her. She said she ain't never stopping again. We know something bad happened.
But no one greeted me on the speaker. So I drove up to the window, but I couldn't see any staff on duty.
You
I
beefing?
honked my horn numerous times, but no one answered. I was reluctant to
So
enter the
leave,
store,
girl.
but the hunger pains drove me to eat. I parked my car and stepped outside. A cold wind picked up and stirred, chilling me to the bone. As I proceeded to walk
that's
through
like
the
that
front door
feeling.
of Chick-fil-A, I was startled by a strange woman dressed like a homeless person. She grabbed my arm and yanked me back.
Oh.
It seemed as though she couldn't speak, and I presumed her to be mute.
What are you doing? Ew, let go of me. Hey! Hey, take your hands off me! Ah, don't touch me!
The woman was shaking her head continuously.
Oh, you bitch! You're one of these people? You one of these hoes? You said I took her as mute. So you could have said, hey, don't touch me. You had to push her ass on the ground. It's crazy because I might, depending on how she grabbed me, I might have hit her. But I would have definitely been like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, ma'am. What the fuck are you doing? And then she's saying, I'm leaving. Obviously, she's telling your ass not to go in there. They cut her tongue out. She know. You gonna have to learn the hard way. Just like old boy that thought Jeremy was trying to snatch his ass up and kill him, and it was really the bitch. The neighbor bitch. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
It seemed as though she couldn't speak, and I presumed her to be mute.
What are you doing? Ew, let go of me. Hey! Hey, take your hands off me! Ah, don't touch me!
The woman was shaking her head continuously.
She's trying to help you.
At that time, I just considered her to be a crazy woman, so I gave her money and ignored her.
You threw
Entering the
money
store,
at?
I just thought about eating a full meal so that I would be able to
You
return to the
ridiculous
road with a
bitch.
clear head. Looking around the store, the atmosphere was eerily
Whatever happens
quiet.
to you happens.
There were
The
no
woman tried to
customers
help you.
and no employees. I approached the cashier counter and rang the bell to call the staff. There, I discovered that the counter was covered with dust.
The staff here is lazy. Is there anyone back there?
Soon, a man in a black apron came out from the kitchen.
About everybody.
He looked like an experienced cook, but there was something strange about him. His face showed an annoyed, scowling expression. At that time, I was going to leave, but because my stomach rumbled again, I decided to stay.
Yep.
What's
What a good
going
snack.
on?
I want to order 6 pieces of fried chicken and a cola.
Fried chicken?
Yeah, is that a problem?
Fried chicken. Got it. Wait a moment. The food will be right out.
Sitting down at the dining table, I was once again fed up with that restaurant because the tables and chairs were also covered with dust. If it weren't for that being the only restaurant in the area, I wouldn't have stayed at that stupid place. Waiting for the food for a while, I was again startled by that crazy woman. She pressed her face against the door and kept banging on it to get my attention.
She's signing to you,
So
you
annoying.
bitch.
Go
She's
somewhere
trying
else.
to tell you to take your ass out of
The
there.
old woman
Ma'am,
kept banging
just
on the
let
door.
her die.
At that moment, the cook came out, glaring at the mad woman. Before he could speak, the woman ran away.
Yeah, baby girl, just let her
Was
die.
that crazy woman bothering you?
No.
Thanks. Luckily, you showed up at the right time. She was really annoying.
That scum always makes my guests run away. Anyway, enjoy your meal.
An aroma of delicious food wafted out and entered my nose. But as the man left, I smelled something fishy in the air. It smelled like blood. But at that time, I brushed it off and only focused on the fragrant fried chicken.
This bitch is about to be
I
eating
grabbed a
bodies.
piece and brought it to my mouth. As I took a bite, I gagged at the stench of that piece of chicken, involuntarily spit it out, and vomited my breakfast all over the table. That piece of meat was definitely rotten. I had never felt so disgusted. I felt
About to
like I was
complain?
going crazy. Just as I was about to speak, my mouth was suddenly covered by a cold, wrinkled hand. Getting a glance over my shoulder, I discovered
Please
that the
just
hand
let
belonged to the
her
old
help
woman.
you.
As she cupped my mouth, she attempted to pull me away. Shocked and surprised, I immediately pushed her off of me.
What the hell are you doing?
Just let her die.
It's you again!
Just let her
There you
die.
How do you explain this pile of rotten chicken? I'm gonna take a picture and post it on social media and let everyone know how disgusting this place is.
How dare you criticize my food? You stupid little brat!
He snarled as he approached us, holding a large, shiny knife. A bad feeling came over me when I noticed that knife. The old woman turned pale. She immediately grabbed my arm and ragdolled me while I was still trying to figure out what was happening.
Oh, I hate
As if it were in slow motion, I looked at the old woman's panicked face, then back at the knife in the man's hand. The old woman grabbed my hand and took off running, hauling me closely behind. Suddenly, the man hurled his knife at us. The knife flew perfectly straight, grazing my face before it lodged in the wall. I realized that we were in
I don't want
serious
her
danger.
to get
I
hurt. I don't
squeezed the
give a
woman's
damn
hand
about this
tighter.
blonde bitch. Don't squeeze her hand tighter.
We rushed
Let
to
her
my
go.
car and quickly jumped inside. He quickly caught up to us and brutally smashed the car window with his big knife.
Oh, bitch. You just
My
watch
whole
it?
body was shaking so much that I couldn't
You
even
just
insert the
watch
key.
it?
The man swung his knife down
Son of a
harder,
stupid-
striking the
Oh,
windshield and shattering it. Shards of
Lady,
glass
get in the
flew at
back,
us,
so
some
if
embedding
you
themselves
open it,
into
you
my
can get
arm.
her.
I turned my head and saw that he had used his knife to slash the old woman's shoulder. I finally got the key in. I fired the ignition and hurriedly drove away from
her.
that hellish
I
place.
wish you got her.
The old woman was breathing weakly beside me. Blood was streaming out of her body, saturating her shirt and pooling onto the floor. Tears welled up in my eyes,
You know what,
blurring my
that's
vision
sad.
while I tried to drive as fast as I could
All
to
your
get her to the
fault.
hospital.
Stupid bitch.
Hello, Dad? Yeah, I have some problems, so I can't come back this time. No, don't worry. What can happen to me?
I said that to reassure my father, but in reality, everything was not okay. After delivering the old woman to the hospital, I spoke to the police about the incident. Apparently, the old woman was now in a coma. I asked the police to try and find her family, but an officer told me that she only had one son, and he went missing 3 weeks ago. Well, I have bad news for you. We haven't caught the man yet. He was the chef for that Chick-Fil-A, but that's all in the past. In addition, we also discovered a lot of dismembered bodies in the kitchen of that place. And by the way, why did you enter that abandoned restaurant?
She was hungry, officer. Stupid bitch. Oh. Oh, that story. Oh.
You know, it's not easy to change your diet into a full-time plant-based one, especially for a meat eater like me. Have you ever got almost crazy trying to control your craving for meat? If yes, then you know how I felt. One day, while walking down the street, I suddenly smelled an ecstatic scent from the newly opened Chick-Fil-A store. Want to try our new dish? An employee with a plate of chicken approached me. No thanks, I'm a vegetarian. Come on, just a piece, won't kill anyone. He kept inviting, and so did the chicken on the plate. I put forth a lot of effort maintaining a vegan diet, and just one bite could ruin it all. But that smell and the soft texture of the chicken, I miss that old feeling. Okay, just one bite. So I said yes, just one piece. No one will know. He joyfully gave me the menu, and the delicious dishes on there dazzled my eyes.
What would you like to order?
She smiled. Yes, please. One Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, One Chick-Fil-A. Oh my gosh, what did I just do? The guilt surged. I wanted to get up and leave, but I couldn't. The smell of delicious fried chicken. A waiter brought the food out. That sandwich seemed so alluring. And then I took a bite. Oh my gosh, it was, how to say, so divine.
Why did you
It
stop eating
tasted
meat?
so different from the other sandwiches I tried before. I couldn't help devouring it. Just after a few minutes, the food boxes were empty. Oh no. Oh no. Look what I just did.
Boy,
Guilt
don't- oh, no,
quickly
no.
engulfed me. I was scared and frustrated, and then ran out of the store. That night, I had a high fever and terrible nausea, so I rushed to the bathroom. Strangely enough, I didn't vomit, but instead coughed violently. And then, from my mouth, I pulled out a feather. And when I looked in the mirror, I discovered that I
You
had
turned it
white
into a
hairs
chicken?
on my face, and they felt very itchy. I picked them up. Ouch!
Ooh.
Were these hairs growing out from me?
Michael, are you okay?
My
No.
mother nervously called at the door.
He's turning
I'm
into a
fine.
chicken.
I didn't want my mom to know all of this. I gritted my teeth and endured it, tried to pull out the hairs one by one, even though my face was bleeding. I shouldn't have eaten it. I shouldn't have eaten it. After getting rid of the hairs, I went to bed and prepared to sleep. I hid those chicken feathers under the pillow.
Boy, we still the chicken feathers.
The next morning, I woke up tired. I yawned, but realized my voice was different.
Boy,
Okay,
you're
wait.
clucking.
What happened to my throat? I screamed, but the only sound that came out was a chicken croaking. I panicked and ran to the bathroom. Oh my God! My head had turned into a chicken's head. I cried.
Oh, you turned into
Michael, what's in there? Are you okay?
My mother banged on the door. How could I let my mother see this form? But she kept banging on the door nervously. I panicked, put on my hat, and ran out of the room. I turned into a monster!
You can
I
say that.
broke down, sobbed, but only heard the chicken croaking. I dared not raise my head to see people. As I ran across the Chick-Fil-A store, the smell of fried chicken invited me in again. I didn't dare to
Boy,
speak,
you're already
but
a
only
chicken.
pointed at the menu with my sleeve. No one had seen my monstrous appearance. My delicious dish was brought out. I was about to eat when a staff member accidentally spilled a glass of water on me. So I reflexively took off my hat. She saw my appearance and shouted.
Monster.
Everyone in there started
Monster.
to yell.
Monster! Monster!
Those eyes made me panic. I was so scared, so dizzy that I could barely stand. I'm a monster!
Boy,
I
you
rushed
knew
out
that.
of the Chick-Fil-A store in a panic.
Hey! Please wait!
I couldn't hide my horrible appearance. People's eyes made my heart break.
Monster.
I was about to turn into a chicken. It was my mother.
Michael! Michael! Where are you? Where are you?
She sounded so scared and worried. I wished I could call her, wished I could tell her what happened. But what came out of my mouth was just... And then when I was in
Boy,
despair,
Chester.
I didn't even notice that I was out in the middle of the road. I woke up to find myself in the hospital. Panicked, I raised my hand to touch my face. My whole face was bandaged. Mommy? I called my mother. No more roosters. Luckily,
Was he
what
just
just
tweaking?
happened was a dream. That nightmare completely put an end to my chicken cravings.
That'll put the end of my chicken cravings too. Y'all threw Papa John's
I've
up in
had
here?
over 40 pizzas in the last 30 days. Living currently in Mark Shapiro should be in jail.
I shouldn't have gone to Papa John's that day. If I just finished eating and went home, perhaps things would have gone differently.
Who died, girl?
Honestly, pizza was not my cup of tea. But after hearing
I love
people
me a
talking
good-
so much about Papa John's lately, I wanted to try it out because it was so close to my house anyway. That late night, I stopped by the restaurant to fill my stomach after a long working day. At that time, there was only one employee standing at the cashier counter. The whole restaurant was empty and quiet.
Hey,
welcome to Papa John's. He greeted me excitedly.
Please, I'd like to try the bestseller here.
I ordered and quickly returned to my seat. I was quite surprised by the energy and professional service of the staff at the end of the day. He got my order really quickly, and then he brought out the pizza to me and said, "Here you are. Bon appetit." I smiled back when taking the food, but soon after the first bite, I frowned at the horrible taste of the pizza. I immediately spit the piece out.
It tastes so weird. It's been a while since my last pizza meal, but I've never eaten a terrible one like this.
I called out the staff immediately.
Excuse me, would you come here, please?
He ran to my table. "What's wrong, madam?"
Can you try this pizza? Something is not right.
"Okay, let me see," he said, and then had a bite.
So, what do you think?
"It's very good, madam."
No way!
I took another slice and took a bite.
Ew!
I shivered and spat out the pizza. It tasted so bad, but that man still ate it? "What are you doing?" He suddenly stopped smiling and looked at me with angry eyes. "You wasted the food, and that's an insult to the pizza god." Then he picked up what I had just spit on the floor and put it in his mouth.
Ew!
I frowned
Get
and wanted
up
to
out of there.
puke right there on the spot. "Eat them all. Don't waste your meal," he yelled at me. He turned into an
You gonna sit here?
insane man, staring at me like he was waiting for me to finish the pizza.
Nope, I can't take it anymore. This tastes horrible.
I said and got up to leave. But right at that moment, he suddenly grabbed my hand and said, "No, you have to eat it." And then he dragged me into the kitchen. "You have to show your respect to the pizza god," he said like a madman.
Let me go. I'll call the police.
I yelled, but he wouldn't loosen his grip no matter how hard I struggled. He tied me up.
Let me out, you
About to beat your ass
freak!
I
with that.
screamed, but he didn't care at all. I wanted to call for
Oh,
help,
really died.
but there was nobody around. While I was so scared,
Up and fresh
he
and
was
nasty.
busy doing something. He used a pen and scribbled on the floor a big circle around
Oh no,
me.
don't put her in a
Was he drawing a pizza?
What's that? What are you going to do to me?
I struggled but couldn't get out. He clenched his fists
dang.
and mumbled something, then shouted, "Pizza God, please hear my voice."
Pizza God? What the hell is a pizza god?
I screamed, trying to escape. He opened his eyes and glared at me. "You don't deserve the pizza. And now you have to pay," he said and brought a large pot.
Ah! Stop! Stop!
He splattered hot pizza sauce on me and burned me all over. My skin turned red and it was painful. After pouring the sauce, he took a sharp knife, approached me, and said, "You will be sacrificed to Pizza God to pay for your sins." My throat dried as he pressed the knife to my neck. You will be honored to be the pizza. I had to do something to survive,
Hell
so
no.
I suddenly hit his head with all my might. He staggered back.
You little rat!
I hurriedly took the knife and cut my leg ropes, then ran away while the freaky guy was struggling to regain consciousness. But only seconds later, he caught me.
You stabbed him?
The sauce on the floor made me slip and fall down.
You must be punished for what you have done!
He approached me suddenly and fell on top of me. I could feel the knife in my hand go through his stomach. I burst into tears at the scene in front of me. Oh my God, did I kill him?
He was sacrificed? So you can know back
I called 911 right after that. And luckily for me, the guy was still alive and was taken to the hospital in time. After reporting to the police, I was released since my only act was defending myself. Police will continue to investigate this Papa John's employee and his strange behavior. But for now, every time I see a pizza, the fear of that day comes back.
I thought he was gonna tie her up and give her some nasty ass. That was bad. Which one was your favorite? I wasn't really feeling dude turning into a chicken. But then he got hit by the bus and then turned back into a human. So I didn't need to know like was he was he tweaking? He was tweaking the whole time? That's the concept of that one? Probably, possibly. Let me know what you think about that one in the comments. The first one I liked the most because it was crazy. You know, a lot of twists, turns. We knew what was going on, so it wasn't really a lot of twists and turns. It was really just that bitch being dumb. I was in a coma now because all you had to do was listen to her and, you know, get up out of there when she told you to, but you hard headed. You don't know how to listen. You can't listen to people. You threw money at her. Make me freaking sick. I would have let her to die. I would have left her to die. I would have just disappeared. Because fuck is this woman doing? You throwing money at people that's trying to help you? She's mute. I'm sure that man cut her tongue out. And if he didn't, because she knew how to sign, if she was just born like that and this is how you treat people, she's just stupid. Let me know which one was your favorite. Like I said, my favorite was the first one, even though it pissed me off the most and you wouldn't think it actually is. So, until next time, you guys, goodbye.